What nonsense is this? See that guy's face on the left down there? The look of shock on his face. That's the look on my face right now, and when I first looked at this result about 10 minutes ago. I'm not buying it at all. I just cannot see how that can be the average, which means people were even lower than that. I'm not buying that at all. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, zone 3, just outside zone 2 there, crept. So I had 23 pence back of my £1.50. There's 15 pence in it. 15%, sorry. There's no way he's looking that low for that to be the average. On the basis that some have gone lower. So yeah, it was a bit of a disaster for me this week because I went slightly to the left and slightly higher than the average, if you remember, but only slightly. It was only a few pixels to the left, so I think the average would have actually made it into zone 2, right on the outer edge, but zone 2 nonetheless. But yeah, so you're not buying that at all. Let me have a look at the these judges then, if you can call it judging this week. Alright, here's where the judges are gone. So we've got 6 in a cluster down here. And look, one of them has gone much lower. That's what's thrown it out, isn't it? There's a few scattered about there. There's one all the way over there, which didn't really make much sense. And there's one all the way up there, which I think is way too high. The top one's going to have to come out, isn't it? Because it's so far out from this. And I would say, if they follow the same guidelines as they did last week, that one would also come out, the one on the right, because that's quite a distance from the cluster as well. But who knows, because they change it every week. Let's have a look at what they actually did. Alright, so there's the final result. They've taken that top one out, which has created a much narrower band there. But they voted to leave that one on the right hand side in. I don't particularly agree with that. I think that should have come out. It's too far away from the cluster. And last week, when it was about that far away, I think it was last week, maybe the week before, they took it out. So I don't particularly agree with what they've done there. But there we are. What's done is done. It's time to move on to another week. So let's have a look at this week's picture. Right, that's my one cross that I've done so far. And I only done that about 20 minutes, half hour ago. Because I got a little hiccup now. I use my works laptop all day, and this BOTB now has been added to the filter of banned websites because it's considered a gambling website. So I can't access this now in the when I'm working in a day. Not that I should be anyway, but now I can't. So I can't even see this picture now until I turn off my works laptop and put on my own. So why have I gone where I've gone with that first cross, which is subject to change, as we know? Well, because if you look at this guy in the yellow here, he's very chilled and laid back, isn't he? He looks as though he feels as though he's way out of this picture, and he's just observing. He's just an onlooker. But his face is turned to his left, our right. So when I look at his eyes, he seems to be looking sort of straight up-ish. And that one is looking in sort of that direction because his face is turned to the left, so he's looking sort of straight ahead of him or straight up, and he's not even looking that high. When you look at his eyes, there's no white under his eyes. He's only looking ahead of him more than sort of up. So I've put my cross in between where, the left and the right extremes, where I think it could be. This one is trickier because he's looking up to his left, but he looks a fair bit further in front of this other guy. So if I draw some lines that way from him, I've gone up in this sort of area. I don't think, looking at his stance and the look on his face, I don't think the ball is that far away from him. But when I take into consideration the guy at the back, who's looking sort of straight in front of himself, then at the moment that's the only place I can come up with. So I've put that cross sort of in the middle. I'm tempted to go, I'm not, I don't know what else to do there, because I don't think that picture's as simple as it actually looks, even though we've only got 2 players we can rely on here. I'm not really sure where to go with either of the players. I don't want to go too steep with this fella with the beady eyes, because I think it's closer to him than than I originally thought. But this fella looks like he's out of the game, and he's just sort of observing at the back and looking up. So that's what I am now. I know I'm waffling on a bit about this. So for that first cross, it's going to be 22891366, but obviously I could change that throughout the week. I don't think the last couple of weeks I haven't until Saturday or Thursday, Friday, when I've actually submitted my ticket. I've left it there most of the week. But at the moment, and I'll see what you guys do and what you think and where you think it is, and we'll go from there, I think. So leave a coordinate on this week's picture then. We'll add them all into a picture now for Saturday's video, and we'll see where we think the average is. Because last week was spread out a lot more than I thought it was. And our average was a fair bit off the winning cross this week as well. So that sort of fitted in with how spread out we were, that nobody really had an idea where it was, apart from the winner. Alright, Revcomps, what's the score there then? I've got a couple of tickets on this Porsche 911 Targa for Thursday because it's £100,000 cash alternative, and I like the look of this Audi A1. Don't know what I do with it. Probably wouldn't replace my car, I don't know, because it's older than mine. But I got a couple of tickets on that. But then, what did they add last night? Quite a good selection last night. There's no big cash alternatives though. There's Audi RS6 Avant. I thought that might have had a cash alternative because it's more or less 20,000 tickets. I wouldn't go for that because I wouldn't end up keeping it anyway. Nice little Polo R-Line. Electric car. Smart EQ 42 Edition 1. I've got a couple of tickets on this Nissan Qashqai because it looks really nice. And there's only 2,999 tickets, so more or less 3,000 tickets, and it's just over £6. And I thought, yeah, okay, I'll have a couple of tickets on that. Little Caddy Blue Motion Trendline. If it was the long wheelbase one, I would have considered it because I could have turned it into a mini camper, but it's a short wheelbase one, so it's too small to sleep in the back of. Mercedes A45S. Never liked these. I think they're pig ugly. This I grabbed a ticket for, just one ticket just to be in it because it's the Ford Fiesta ST2, and the 2 is obviously the more accessories you get. The ST3 has got practically every extra you can imagine, but this one, yeah, I thought, yeah, that looks a good laugh. 0 to 60, 6.5 seconds. Yeah, I'll have one ticket on there. I'm not committed to winning it, but I just wanted to be in it. And his Ford Ranger Wild Track, not my cup of tea, so I didn't bother with that either. And there's a couple of bikes as well, if you like bikes. So that's where we are this week. Quite a short video, I think. I haven't looked at the time, but there you go. Let me know how you got on, guys, because I don't think many of us would have been close this week, although there was quite a few who had gone a lot lower. I can't remember without looking how many of you had gone anywhere near there. So I expect one or two of you have done okay, though. And give us a coordinate for next week, for this week's picture, because I think we had 17 last week, so it was a good contribution last week. In the meantime, guys, I'll speak to you in the comments, and good luck.